Welcome to another update on our farmlet trial, where we are investigating different levels of nitrogen fertilizer and different species compositions in pasture for lactating dairy cows. One of the species is clover, mostly white clover, and this time of the year is when clover is most prolific. There's a lot of clover at the moment in our farmlet paddocks, and you see an example here. That is, by the way, farmlet 4, the farmlet that has the most diverse species mix, and you can see that here there is some leafy parts of cocksfoot visible, and you see a large amount of clover in the paddock here. What you also see is how well the clover is developed. This time of the year, clover is actually growing at its best, and that has consequences. What we found in the first half of the year is that farmlet 4 with no synthetic N going in was growing a little bit less than farmlet 1, 2 and 3 that have synthetic nitrogen going in. Farmlet 4 for the last month and a half or so has been growing the same as the other farmlet, so has actually been producing very well, and that is probably mostly because of the clover, and maybe some of these species, grass species that we have, might also be slightly happier with warmer temperatures. Because we expect the growth rates to start dropping down, looking forward, we are aiming to extend the rotation a bit, to keep a bit of a feed buffer in front of the cows, filling a feed gap with silage, or use silage to slow down the rotation a bit, so that we can keep as much grass in the diet for the cows as long as possible. This trial also looks at what happens in the soil. Just for normal management purposes, we take annual soil samples to make sure that minerals such as PK, S and the like stay within optimal thresholds. We are getting towards the end of this 3-year trial. At the start of this trial, we took deep core samples and soil health samples to look at what the starting position was, and we are now in the process of again taking deep core samples and additional soil health samples, and Zach, my colleague, will report on that a bit more in the next episode. The cows are now getting towards the tail end of their lactation. About 90% or so have now conceived 3-4 months ago, so they are starting to redistribute their energy a little bit away from milk towards body reserves and growing a calf, which also means that we are monitoring all of that, and we have reduced the grain input a little bit, whilst they are still eating about 16.5 kilogram at a grass. They are on itself still doing quite well. The last herd test we did, they did about 2.25 milk solids per day still. And as you can see, under these nice conditions, the cows are happy and grazing as much as they can still.